Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? Welcome to the Just Chatting Gaming News and Trailers for the week of January 7th. Don't really have too many trailers or news, but we are going to take a look at some fancy new tech from CES, so that should be pretty fun. But let's go ahead and jump into the news. As you may or may not know, accessibility in video games is something that has been growing and growing and growing, as it should. And as part of that, Sony has finally introduced their first accessibility controller, which you can see right here. Microsoft already has one, and there's a few other ones out there. And games in general have been just getting more and more into it, as I've said. But yeah, Sony's kind of the last one to cross the barrier here. Very interesting design. Actually, they do have a little video. Little video here. You know what? Might as well watch this here real quick.
Game accessibility to me means connection.
That allows everyone to enjoy the stories that we create.
If there wasn't accessibility in gaming, it would be extremely difficult, if not impossible, for people like myself to play.
It's about the games, and it always will be about the games.
For some folks, it means being able to play a game comfortably. For others, it dictates whether that game is going to be able to be played and enjoyed at all.
So playing games was a very personal experience for me because it allowed me to kind of play sports and engage in things that I really couldn't do as a kid.
The greatest part about the new PlayStation controller is it's designed from the ground up to be not standard.
The controller that PlayStation has developed offers the flexibility for the person to figure out how they would like to play and how best suits them during that stage in their life.
Really, this new controller is a toolbox.
You'll be able to layer different buttons. You'll be able to move different buttons around so that you can make sure that you're hitting the right button combinations.
The main thing I really liked was the way you could bridge over two buttons. So when you need to press two buttons at the same time, it was just one.
I'm somebody who needs to lay a controller flat and be able to use more of my hand in order to control any kind of controller.
I was able to finally incorporate my left hand back into gaming, which is something that I hadn't done really successfully since childhood.
To have such a powerhouse partner like Sony take on that venture with this project is truly monumental.
We're really excited to see the impact of the controller on helping to make access to gaming available to many more people.
My dream is to be able to affect accessibility at the platform holder level. I can't wait to see what the community is going to do with this once they get their hands on it.
This controller is a big part of what it means to create accessibility, and I'm so thankful to be a part of it because it's life-changing, not just for me, but for so many people in the world.
Very cool. So yeah, the PlayStation games in particular have always been very good with accessibility, and now they are going to be even more accessible. Next story. Elden Ring has officially passed The Last of Us Part 2 to become the most awarded game of all time. At the time of this tweet from Benji, Elden Ring was sitting at an incredible 323 Game of the Year awards. Now, I believe this does not include other awards. I think Last of Us Part 2, or maybe even another game, holds the record for like the most overall awards. Like if you talk with like writing and soundtrack and all that fun stuff. But when it comes to just straight up Game of the Year, Elden Ring now holds that award. So very, very cool. Next up, and I feel like these numbers shouldn't really surprise anybody, but PUBG Mobile has surpassed $9 billion in lifetime revenue, and Genshin Impact has hit $4 billion in revenue. And see, then us hardcore gamers getting mad when all these companies keep making mobile games, but all these companies look at numbers like this and they're like, we should make mobile games. And that's because the mobile market is, in fact, the biggest market. So you can't, if you want money, just make a mobile game. It's kind of crazy. And finally, for the Star Wars fans that are out there, and I'm just double checking this, the creative director at Ubisoft released a tweet saying, Happy New Year to you all. 2023 is going to be huge for us. Join the adventure. And he posted the little image of the Ubisoft massive Star Wars game. This is one of the games that was announced like several years ago, but we don't know anything about it. So it looks like it could potentially come out this year, or at least we're going to get some information on it. So very, very cool. I still think that game is going to be just a Division Star Wars. That's my theory, so we'll see. All right, let's go ahead and kill the music, and we've only got a couple of trailers. We have us... this is kind of a weird thing. What's going on here? Let me reload this, because it's acting weird. Come on, YouTube. There you go. All right. We have us the DLSS3 graphics coming soon for Witchfire. So let's take a look. Pretty nice looking game. Cool. All right. Speaking of NVIDIA showing off fancy stuff, we have a brand new trailer for Atomic Hearts, and this is the exclusive 4K GeForce RTX gameplay. This better be pretty. Here we go. Look at our water reflections. At the inside of a whale? That game will be on Game Pass. All right, cool. And then our final trailer of the day before we get into the CES stuff. The team making Stalker 2 released a new trailer for that game. So let's take a look.
After years of work, a group of scientists managed to tap into the noosphere, the Earth's informational field. An achievement comparable at best to the conquest of space.
Don't want the innocent to suffer? Then help me find the culprit.
And who the fuck are you?
And what do we have a decade later? The Zone, in our image, after our likeness.
can't even bury them.
Died in an anomaly. Shot by loners. Found with a stone around his neck. Thrown off a cliff. Torn apart by dogs. You cannot kill God. Just like you cannot get rid of the sky up above. I am blind, but it is you who cannot see.
That's also going to be on Game Pass. I didn't know that. One thing I'm going to say here real quick, a Lone Double Agent in chat said, man, this is going to be the year of games. And, you know, the crazy thing is we've, over the last 3 years or so, we've seen like delay after delay after delay. If everything comes out this year that's supposed to come out, and let's say, hypothetical, everything gets rated a 7 or better, then this could be the greatest year of gaming we've ever seen. It's going to be crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, so let's get into a little bit of the coverage on CES. For those who don't know, it's the Consumer Electronics Show that's being held in Vegas. And they always show like all the new tech stuff that's coming out. So from what I've seen so far, there's two things in general that have been the talk of the town. One, there are multiple companies that are showing cars where you have the ability to change the color of the car. And then the second one is LG has a TV that is 100% wireless. So let's start with the video. Here's a video on TVs. I don't know if it's going to show the TV that I'm looking for or not.
Hey everybody, I'm here.
But let's see. Let's see what we got here.
At CES 2023 in Las Vegas. This is LG's booth. I'm talking about the best TVs at CES, and yes, the first one is an LG. This is the 97-inch wireless OLED television. The idea is you don't plug any HDMI into the back of it. In fact, it's totally wireless. There's just a little module that you plug all your devices into, and that beams your signals across the room in 4K 120 hertz to the television itself. Yes, there's a power cord, but otherwise this wireless TV, pretty darn cool. Let's check.
Now what's weird is I've seen a video where another TV that didn't have a power cord.
Out the others.
So I'm not sure.
So the second TV on my list is the Samsung QD OLED at 77 inches. Now, Samsung makes OLED TVs too, and they're competing directly against LG, but until now, they haven't had that 77-inch size to really get to the high end of the market. Really big screen. I always say the larger screen is better,
fuzzy bunny.
and with OLED even more so.
Oh, there's
it's
two of
such a
them.
good picture. So Samsung has improved the brightness this year. They've also improved the anti-reflective filter to make it reject the ambient light in the room a little bit better. So I expect this to be one of the best TVs of the year, finally available in a larger size. Not cheap, but if you can afford it, definitely worth it. And the third TV is a little bit off the wall, literally. This is the
one.
TV, not for a brand you've heard of like Samsung or LG. They're a startup. This TV you can actually stick up on the wall using suction cups on the back, but that's not the weirdest part. The weirdest part is that it's totally wireless and it runs off batteries. So you plug your stuff into a device across the room, similar to that LG TV, and it beams it across, but instead of plugging in the TV, you can run up to a day, they say, on these hot swappable batteries. You can actually change them while you're watching TV. The whole idea is to have the TV anywhere you want. Now, personally, I'm not keen on having a $3,000 TV stuck on the wall with suction cups, but hey, if it falls off and you can afford it, maybe you can afford to.
Apparently, from what I saw in the other video, it's not suction cups. It's using some sort of vacuum technology where you can stick it to like any surface.
Place it. So those are my 3 picks for the best TVs at CES 2023. Some wireless, some OLED, some really cool technology. There's some normal TVs you'll see this year, but this is CES. We're going to go big. If you like what you see here, go to CNET for more. Be sure to like and subscribe.
Okay, all right. All right, next, let's take a look at let's see. I always like looking at the new crazy home products. Let's see what we got in this category. Come on, YouTube. YouTube is being sketchy today.
This year, the most intriguing home product from CES 2023 focused on the 3 most important rooms in your house: the kitchen, the bathroom, and the bedroom. There were products that made your home life more convenient, health-conscious, and luxurious, all using tech like AI, sensors, and more. Here are our top home products unveiled at CES 2023. LG's Mood Up refrigerator has LED doors with 190,000 colors and can change in time with your music. The very large kitchen appliance features color-changing LED backlit panels that you can customize to coordinate with themes, like silver and gold for New Year's Eve, or red and green for Christmas, or simply to match your ever-changing kitchen motif. New year, new kitchen, am I right? Ever wonder if dinner in the oven is ready, or maybe if it's about to burn? Samsung's new AI wall oven is equipped with an internal camera and technology that can let you check. It can even send a photo of the meal straight to social media. Samsung's AI Pro cooking algorithm can recognize up to 80 dishes. It can also recommend the best temperature, time, and mode for cooking, then send you notifications to help prevent your food from burning. The oven features a push-to-open door for a sleeker appearance, plus the convenience of nudging the door open with your shoulder when your hands are full. The AI wall oven is part of Samsung's new bespoke lineup the company introduced at CES 2023. But it's not just smart home appliances. CES 2023 showed us that even kitchen gadgets can be upgraded with technology. Block calls its high-tech cutting board the Peloton of the kitchen. Say goodbye to covering your laptop keyboard or phone screen with ingredients, all while scrolling through a recipe with sticky fingers.
Is that waterproof?
The cutting board shows off recipes and cooking classes on a 13 by 20-inch display with a $39 a month subscription. The screen even detaches...
Whoa. A third... Wait. Oh, okay. Hold on.
The cutting board shows off recipes and cooking classes on a 13 by 20-inch display with a $39 a month subscription.
$39 month subscription? What?
The screen even detaches for easy cleanup. Moving on to the bathroom. Health tracking gets a little more intimate with an in-toilet attachable sensor from Withings. Called U-Scan, the sensor can tell you if you're low in nutrients, whether you're about to ovulate, and more, all by analyzing your urine. If you've ever given a sample in your doctor's office, you know that urine can tell us a lot of important things about your health. If we're dehydrated,
Yeah, okay. The funny thing about that is home medical equipment is actually something that's going to be big in the future. And you can kind of thank COVID for that. But I've actually seen other devices that they say one day will be common in the household. Like people will be able to like analyze their own blood and like all kinds of stuff. But this is the first time I've ever heard of this particular item.
we're pregnant, if we have an infection, and
if I'm pregnant and this thing tells me that, then we know there's a problem.
Even the health of some of our organs. Withings revealed 2 cartridges for the U-Scan to capture these biomarkers. One monitors nutrition and metabolic information. The other tracks menstrual cycles and measures surges of LH, or luteinizing hormones. Kohler wants to make your bathroom feel like an at-home spa by bringing aromatherapy into your shower. In collaboration with Sprig, Kohler revealed a system that attaches to your shower head and infuses vitamins, scents, and other good skin stuff into the water using pressed pods. The system will only function with Sprig pods, which are available in 6 calming scents, including lavender and eucalyptus. The Kohler fixture is designed for Kohler shower heads.
Okay.
Surprise, surprise. But it can also attach to most other shower heads, so you won't have to install a whole new shower system to use this spa-like fixture. Speaking of the spa, the nanotech company Somalytics unveiled an eye-tracking sleep mask at CES that delivers data on your sleep patterns. The lightweight eye mask uses small capacitive sensors that track your eye movements, including rapid eye movement or REM, and can detect possible sleep disruptions. The goal of the Somalytics wearable is to promote a greater awareness of your sleep quality. Finally, if you're a sneakerhead, LG's Styler Shoe Care is your high-tech chance to care for your shoes. Slip your sneakers into the locker-like device, and through the magic of True Steam nozzles, and 37 minutes later, your shoes are deodorized. A companion Styler shoe case lets you show off your shoes.
It's like a dishwasher for your shoes. Or no, maybe I should say it's like a hot spring spa for your shoes. I don't know.
Once they're refreshed. That's a wrap for CES 2023. In case you missed the top moments from the show, check out CNET.
Also, something like that would never work in Iowa. That's like a California thing. Because if I were to put my shoes in that thing, I'd be tracking in like salt and sand and dirt and all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't know. That I just not a thing that would work in Iowa. All right, let's get into more of the gaming stuff. Let's take a look at this.
Hey guys, I'm not actually in a race car, but it kind of feels like it. This is LG's 45-inch ultra-wide OLED monitor for gaming with this really sweet racing setup here, and it's curved around me. This is a 1000-nit monitor, super bright, but really the OLED picture quality is what makes it. That and the insane curvature. This is a really curved screen with an ultra-wide WQHD resolution. $800 is the curvature on this thing, and it really does feel so immersive to be driving a car like this with everything kind of coming at you, and especially in a seat. I mean, they've got the pedals and everything, so yeah, I mean, if you can't be a race car driver, this is the next best thing. I gotta say, there's some stuff here that's a little bit more relaxing. Let's go check it out. So after I win a big race, I like to sit down and relax with some nice tunes. But I don't know, the sound is a little narrow. Maybe it can get wider. This is a concept display. LG is putting it together just to kind of show what they can do. It's a 42-inch OLED display with these movable speakers on either side. Of course, the main thing is that it looks really cool, but yeah, you do get a wider sound stage.
Why would you want the speakers in the front versus the behind? And moving it this much, that wouldn't do anything.
When you bust it open, and of course, you can narrow it down if you want to have a little bit more of a compact design. Again, this really isn't for sale anywhere, but looks pretty cool and sounds pretty good too.
The engineer that invented this, you're fired.
It's so nice to relax by a fire. In this case, a 27-inch OLED TV. LG's calling it OLED Glow. Again, this concept, not for sale, but watch this. When I'm done warming myself by the fire, I can bring it up.
That's not new. That's not fancy. I can literally do that with both of these monitors.
And it turns into my e-book shelf, or whatever else we want to show on a landscape display.
Get out of here.
That's a look at LG Display's cool concepts at CES 2023. If you like what you saw, come to CNET, like and subscribe.
That's what I say to that. All right. Let's see. Let's jump. Oh, okay, so we were talking about the cars earlier. Here's, I don't know if this is all the cars or just one of them.
Today, we're taking a look at BMW's vision for the future.
All right.
Today, we're taking a look at BMW's vision for the future of the way that you'll interact with your car. And I'd like to introduce you to my new friend, Dee. Say hello, Dee.
Hello, Antoine.
Now, Dee is more than just a concept
like the Knight Rider
car.
car.
She is the physical manifestation of BMW's vision for the digitalization of your relationship with your car. The BMW
So I want to say off the top of my head, last year there was just one car showing this technology, and this year there's like multiple cars showing this technology.
iVision D concept is a compact sedan with hints of BMW's classic design hallmarks. Things like the double kidney grille, the Hofmeister kink, and its very 2002-esque three-box design. Its simplified aesthetic leaves a lot of visual white space in its inert state, presenting a sort of blank slate for the digital elements of the design to stand out. So when the driver approaches the vehicle, for example, the concept springs to life, recognizing the owner with biometric authentication and presenting them with a 3D digital avatar of themselves on the transparent side windows. Up front, the double kidney grille is revealed to be a pair of e-ink displays, animating to give D eyes that make it more approachable to the driver when they're talking to and interacting with the vehicle. And yeah, you're supposed to talk to D. It's got an AI assistant built into it that does things like learn your habits and predict things that you might want, and basically sort of serve as a buddy on the road and from the curbside. Now, the double kidney grille and a bit of trim around the windows are monochromatic e-ink, but D's entire skin is covered with full color e-ink technology, and that allows the driver to instantly shift between 32 colors divided into 240 individually controlled.
So for those who didn't see my joke on Twitter about this, because what I said is 100% going to happen. So these at some point down the future, we're gonna be driving cars where you can change the color, right? And it's going to be one of those things where, like in a video game, where it's like you go into it, you start messing with the interface, and you're like, I want to customize a paint scheme for my car. And the thing is going to say, here you are. This allows you to customize the paint scheme. Or please visit our DLC store for a bunch of paint schemes that we've created that you can buy. So your car is going to have like DLC paint
controlled segments options, so you can program in patterns and multicolored schemes on the fly. But what digital elements? There's no physical displays, and there are very few buttons around the cabin anywhere. Well, the entire windscreen is the display. The iVision D concept uses a full-width augmented reality windscreen that drivers have a little bit of control over their level of immersion with a thing that BMW calls the mixed reality slider. This touch-sensitive slider on the dashboard allows drivers to toggle between 5 levels of immersion with that head-up display. Level 1 just displays basic information along the bottom edge of the screen, things like your speed or maybe your next turn, stuff that you normally see in an instrument cluster, which D doesn't have. Level 2 and Level 3 step up and bring the display higher up into your field of view, allowing for more information to be displayed, things like communication information or maybe even an augmented reality view of your next turn overlaid on the road ahead. The Level 4 and Level 5 bring more virtual elements into this augmented reality view, bringing in things like virtual environments that obscure your view of the road so that you don't have to just stare at the car ahead of you while you shuffle through traffic. Now, of course, blocking the road with virtual elements is designed for a piloted driving experience, something that you might not see until BMW gets self-driving cars or Level 3 autonomy on the road years down the line. However, levels 1 through 3 are still designed with the driver in mind. Vision D still has a steering wheel after all, and you are expected to drive it yourself most of the time. And so the design philosophy behind the way that those levels are designed adheres to BMW's hands on the wheel, eyes on the road philosophy. Now, this technology could be hitting the road sooner than you think. BMW has stated that it is bringing an advanced head-up display technology to its next generation of vehicles, the so-called Neue Klasse of electrified cars, starting in around 2025. This technology will cover the entire width of the windscreen and be visible from every seat in the vehicle. Expect it to look like a slightly less conceptual version of what you see here. Digital dashboards, e-inked virtual reality. As you can see, there are a lot of moving parts in BMW's vision of the future of the automobile, and it's a very exciting vision. Dee, can you tell them maybe where they can find more information?
You can find more information at cars.cnet.com.
Perfect.
See, the other crazy thing about this is when these things are on, right? Like, if you're driving this thing at night, how bright is this thing going to be? Like, are you just going to light up the entire area? Like, if you go all bright yellow, like, you'd think this thing is going to just stick out like a sore thumb, right? The other thing that I guarantee is going to happen with this is there's probably gonna be some way, like, we will give you this car at a discount if you allow advertisements to be displayed on your car. And they'll probably have multiple, like, versions of that. Like, we'll give you $5,000 off the car if we're going to have, like, the Pizza Hut logo right here on this door. This is going to be the Sears logo over here. Basically, you're going to look like a NASCAR. I can totally see that happening. And then if you're like, no, I want to remove all the ads. And then, of course, the opposite version of that is, let's say you work for a company that has something like this, and you can just digitally put your logos on the vehicle. Kind of like how they do like a vehicle wrap right now, except for it's all done with the panels. And then, of course, somebody kind of mentioned it earlier in chat, but either somebody's going to hack this and, you know, do something really crazy with it, or maybe you can upload your own logos at some point. What happens if you make your car look like a police car? Like, that's going to be kind of crazy, but I'm sure somebody's going to do it. What if you make your car all black, and then, like, a couple spots on the front and the back, you make blink red and blue or something? You know? I don't know. It's crazy. All right, let's see here. What else do we want to watch here real quick? Here's another monitor video. What's this one? Let's take a look.
In 2 sizes. Behind me.
Hold on, YouTube.
We've got an all-in-one PC by Acer called the Aspire S Series. It comes in 2 sizes. This is the 32-inch, got the 27-inch right here. These PCs are giving us a peek at what the future could look like for PCs, which is modular. Down here, we've got a trackpad that is part of the stand. You can lift it up. You've got the trackpad in your hands, you put it down by your keyboard, and you can start using it. It's huge. You've got lots of surface area. You can even use a stylus with it. Then on top, you've got 2 sliders. You've got one for volume and one for brightness. Check this out. Using the brightness, and the brightness is being adjusted on the screen. I plop this back down, and that is getting charged by the computer. You've also got a fingerprint scanner. What's also modular are the cameras. Right now, I have no camera on, but got one in my hand, and this one has an LED light. So watch, when I connect this, it connects pretty easily, and then tap it, the LED light illuminates into 3 different brightness modes. There's also another camera that's lower in resolution without a light. This one I could just swap out and put right there. Isn't that cool? And this means that your computer is not going to be outdated as soon as there's a better web camera on a new one, right? You can just upgrade your camera or even upgrade your trackpad if there are new features in the future. Now, when it comes to ports, there are a lot of...
I mean, you can only take upgrading so far.
And they're super accessible thanks to the flat design. Along the left side, you've got an SD slot as well as a USB-C and a jack for audio. There's an Ethernet port on the back as well as some USB and HDMI ports, and then a couple more USB ports on the right. The touchpad has a USB-C charging port in case you want to charge it while it's off of the dock. This is a very pretty screen.
Looks like it's using Windows 11. So basically, this is just a laptop with a really big screen.
It's got an ultra-thin bezel, and the IPS LCD screen has a resolution of... This is a very...
Oh, okay, it's running an i7. So you can do up to 32 gigs of RAM and DDR4. And it's using a 1 terabyte ME SSD.
Pretty screen. It's got an ultra-thin bezel, and the IPS LCD screen has a resolution of 2560 by 1440. The 27-inch does not have a trackpad attached on the bottom. This one just has the fingerprint scanner, and then it's also modular. You can place that on top, and you've got a camera. The Aspire series is coming in Q1 of this year. Let us know what you think in the comments, and for more videos like this, make sure you keep it here on CNET by subscribing.
Okay. That's kind of cool. I feel like that's the kind of thing you would use in an office. You wouldn't use it as a gaming machine at all. It's not going to have the juice that you need. All right. let's see. Are there any other videos we want to take a look at here real quick? This is another TV video, I think. Halt.
Hey guys, this is one big TV, actually two really big TVs, 98-inch QM8 series from TCL, brand new for 2023. This is their flagship model. Before you ask, yes, it is available in smaller sizes, 85, 75, and 65, but let's talk about this 98-inch. They're saying 2,300 local dimming zones, mini LED technology, peak picture quality, 2,000 nits of brightness. All those are really flagship specs, but this is TCL. They haven't announced pricing yet, but I do expect it to be maybe a little bit affordable. So the QM8, like all the new high-end Q series TCL TVs, does have Google TV built in, not Roku TV found on some of their other models released previously. We really like Roku a little bit better than Google, but again, if you're in this price range, you can probably afford to slap a $50 Roku on the back of it, take care of that problem. This TV has QLED technology for improved color. Let's talk about the step-down models now. So now we're looking at TCL's Q7 series. This is the step-down model.
I've never heard of this
brand.
brand.
It's not mini LED, and it doesn't have that 98-inch size. It's 85, 75, 65, and 55. It does have full array local dimming, however, my favorite picture-enhancing technology, so I do expect great brightness, very good black levels. It's also a 120 hertz panel. TCL this year has a new gaming feature where they're able to claim 240 hertz for smoother gaming. Can't wait to try that out. They say they cut vertical resolution in half to get to that, so I'll play around a few games, see how it works. Let's move on to the Q6. And finally behind me is the Q6. It's a 75-inch size. This guy goes in 65, 55, and 50-inch sizes. TCL's still doing full array local dimming on this TV, but it's only a 60 hertz panel, so it's not gonna have quite as good a gaming chops, but it does have that game accelerator, so maybe it'll look really smooth. We'll see when we test it. So that's a quick look at TCL's Q series for 2023. It's probably going to ship around spring. Prices to be announced later, but with TCL, we do expect it to be relatively affordable. I'm at CES 2023. If you like what you saw, check out CNET and be sure.
$3,000. That's my guess. I do have a video on laptops. Take a look at that. It's a little bit on the long side at almost 10 minutes, but
I'm back at CES in person this year.
We'll see what they're doing for laptops. Let's see what.
After 2 years of attending the show remotely and being back here in person, one thing has really jumped out at me, and that is this feels like a very traditional CES in one very important way, and that is it is a show full of new laptops. It's really one of the big topics every year. There's a lot of new models, a lot of upgrades, a lot of new components that go in models, and we always get to see some very exciting laptops, tablets, hybrids, and this year is no exception. Now, one of my favorite laptop lines for the last many years has been LG's Gram line. It's not the most popular, best-known laptop line out there. LG is better known for their TVs and other things, but the Gram is really good. It's called Gram because these laptops are usually very light, also usually very thin, and we like them actually because they have very long battery life. This year's LG Gram is called the LG Gram Style, and it jumped out at me because it's taking a couple of bold moves in terms of design. They've got the thin and light nailed, they've got the long battery life nailed, so now they're working on the style and look and design, and they have done something that I think is potentially dangerous, but they're handling it in a smart way. They've taken the traditional touchpad and they've basically gotten rid of it. It's just one big piece of glass along the front. The touchpad is there, it's a haptic touchpad, but you can't see it until you put your finger down on the touchpad area, and then it lights up, the little border that lights up around it.
Kind of cool.
And that at least gives you some visual sense of where the touchpad is, because I always tell people if you mess with the placement of things like a touchpad on a laptop, you're doing that at your own peril because the muscle memory is very important. I'll give you an example of where this did not work out, and that was in the Dell XPS 13 Pro from last year, where they did something similar, an invisible touchpad basically, but they did not have those light up demarcations, that little border that goes around it, so you were just completely lost. Here on the Style, they've kind of balanced both worlds here, very sleek looking, very minimalist, but you can still see where the touchpad is. That's pretty important for people. There's also another new LG Gram, and it's called the Ultra Slim. It's a 15-inch laptop, 11 millimeters thick. That is not the thinnest thinnest laptop ever, but it's pretty close, especially for a 15-inch one. It's 2.2 pounds, also
I'd be
very
curious
light.
to know how hot
the
that thing
style wheels
runs.
can have OLED displays, which I think is another theme this year. Everyone is finally almost defaulting to OLED, which is a really great screen technology for a laptop to have. If you're looking for something that really pops out at you, almost literally, the Asus Pro Art Studio 16 is really one of the laptops everybody's been talking about here at CES. I get a chance to see it in person. It has one big thing that it's trying to sell you, which is auto stereoscopic 3D. What does that mean? That means no glasses 3D. So you look at the screen, you see the 3D effect, you don't have to wear glasses. Now, it's not an entirely new concept. Something like the Nintendo 3DS has auto stereoscopic 3D. There were laptops, including gaming laptops, that tried it maybe about 10 years ago, but they never got past the first generation because, frankly, it did not work very well. So the 3D effect works better now because it uses the lenticular screen and pairs that with eye tracking. So two little sensors see where your eyes are looking, and it can line up the image so it looks correct. It looks like in 3D. So if you look at it like this, you move your head, it follows. And that's something older auto stereoscopic 3D screens could not do. Now, the thing it can't do yet is line up the image for two people at once. If I'm looking at the screen and you're over my shoulder looking at it, it's going to look fine for me, not for you. We'll have to switch places. That's an upgrade that may come at some point soon. I think that if people get used to and like these no glasses 3D screens, they're going to have to make the eye tracking work for multiple people. It also helps that this has an OLED screen, which has a faster response time, which is going to help with the 3D. And Asus says that this is going to add maybe about $500 to the cost of a laptop. They're adding it to this model, and I think another one, and a few other companies might have something similar. You're already paying a lot of money, so an extra $500 on top of that may not seem like too much. There are always a lot of gaming laptops at CES. This year is no exception. Really too many to choose a favorite from, so I'm going to choose the Alienware X14, which stands out because Alienware says it is the world's thinnest 14-inch gaming laptop. There are not a lot of 14-inch gaming laptops, so that may not be that huge a claim, but I've seen it in person. It is very thin. It is very nice. It takes Alienware's design language and evolves it. They've had this very distinct look for a couple of years, and every generation they evolve it a little bit. So now you've got more of a silvery look rather than the matte white that last year's versions had. The back fin has been flattened out a little bit, makes it a little bit easier to carry.
Yeah,
and
dude, you're getting a Dell?
Little fins on the bottom of the system that it sort of rests on, gives you better airflow in there. Like a lot of the other new gaming laptops at CES, you're going to be able to get the newest Intel chips in there, 13th generation stuff, the 4000 series NVIDIA GPUs, new AMD CPUs and GPUs. That's pretty much table stakes for any new laptop here, but it's nice to see all that stuff in something as thin and small and light as this 14-inch laptop. Now you can do a multicolored effect on the backlit touchpad. So you can have, you know, a rainbow effect or different colors mixed together rather than just choosing one color. Now that's not the only other new Alienware here. M16 and an M18, that new bigger 18-inch screen size. And there's also new G-series laptops from Dell, which I actually like a lot. They're very inexpensive, decent components, and for this year, they've got some cool new designs. I think they've really gone interesting places with the colors, which is something that can really make a budget gaming laptop stand out, because otherwise they all look kind of like gray and black and generic. So if you add a splash of color to them, that really counts for a lot, and I really like the new G-series budget gaming laptops from Dell. Now, I mentioned the Alienware M18 18-inch gaming laptop. It's not something we've seen in a long time. It's not brand new. I remember reviewing a couple of 18-inch gaming laptops maybe back in 2012 or so. They didn't last very long. No one's made one in a long time. Now suddenly everybody has one. Alienware has one, Acer has one, Asus has one, Razer has one. So the one I'm going to pull out to highlight for you is the Acer model, the Acer Predator Helios 18. It's one of this new generation of 18-inch gaming laptops. I'm pretty excited about it because I think a lot of people work at home a lot now, or they do hybrid style, so they want something that's a little bit bigger on their desk, a little more desktop-y rather than working off a small 13 or 14-inch laptop. And of course,
Not sure what game that
as a
is.
great gaming laptop. And with a big display like this, it's also great for design, for office work, for video meetings. A good big screen gaming laptop can really be an all-purpose computer for you. And of course, this has got all the latest 13th gen Intel chips, the NVIDIA 4000 series GPUs. I like that it has a mini LED display option. There's some other display options, but that's the fanciest one. Very power efficient. It's the new technology that is eventually going to replace OLED in TVs a couple years down the road, probably. But they have it in this laptop, and they also have mini LED lights under the keyboard. So those keyboard backlights are individual per key, but very uniform, very bright, and don't use a ton of extra power if you want to get that, you know, cool, colorful backlit look to your laptop. Now, all these new 18-inch gaming laptops, they're not inexpensive, but the Acer model starts at $1,700, which for an 18-inch gaming laptop does not sound bad to me. Now, every year, Lenovo has a bunch of regular laptops, regular updates, but they also have a bunch of kind of bold, experimental, almost prototypey laptops, except you can actually go out and buy them, and I really appreciate that. This year, they've had some very interesting things, including a hybrid laptop that has an OLED screen on one side and a color e-ink display on the other side, and I love e-ink. I think it's a really underutilized technology. So the one I'm going to highlight for you here is the Lenovo Yoga Book 9i.
Maybe they're going to explain that, but what is that technology that he just mentioned? I've never heard of it. Something ink?
Now, it's a Yoga, so it's got that hinge that folds back 360 degrees, so you can fold it up like a tablet, table-tented, kiosk it, or just hold it like a regular clamshell laptop. But the key is, instead of a screen here and a keyboard here, like 99.9% of all laptops, it's a screen here and a screen here. It's two OLED displays, no keyboard. So now you can type on the screen with an on-screen keyboard, but it also comes with a little mini Bluetooth keyboard that sits right on top of one of the screens and connects automatically, and you can type on it, and when it sits on there, it senses you have it there and gives you a little virtual touchpad right below it on that bottom screen. So you get your keyboard, you got your touchpad, you can actually move the touchpad around to different places.
That's kind of cool.
Or you can just take the two screens and stand them up and put the Bluetooth keyboard in front of it and use it almost like a mini two-screen all-in-one. Is this going to be a practical laptop for everybody? I don't think so. But I think that taking the two-screen idea and finding a way to make it actually work for people is very interesting. And of course, I love one OLED screen, so I'm going to love two OLED screens even more. So what we've seen at CES 2023 is a lot of laptops that are small incremental upgrades to things that already exist, sure, but also a lot of pretty bold experiments. Things like taking two screens and no keyboard and putting that into a laptop. Something like adding a color e-ink display to a laptop. Taking a laptop and
what is that and why would I want it?
Display, the type of which we have not seen in many years. Going back and experimenting with auto stereoscopic 3D again, which has been a dead end before, but might actually have its time in the sun right now. So I'm very excited to see how all of these interesting, bold experiments to play out, and whether these laptops that we think are the best ones at CES, we're going to come back and say at the end of 2023 that they were some of the best laptops of the year. And of course, you can read more about each of these laptops and our hands-on impressions of them. You're going to.
All right, cool. I think there was maybe one more video we were going to watch. If I can find it. Yeah, here we go. They did a one on all the Razer products. So let's take a look at that video.
Razer's always got experimental gaming tech, and
yeah, what is their experimental gaming tech?
And at CES in Las Vegas this year, first time back in a while, they also have a lot of stuff. But it really runs the gamut. You've got a gaming tablet, you've got 3D sound bars, a webcam, new laptops, VR accessories.
Yeah, it'd be the webcam that a lot of streamers are looking at.
And a vibrating sound headrest.
What?
So let's get into them. The Razer Edge is coming out really soon, January 26th, and it's part of a partnership with Qualcomm. It's the first gaming handheld that has their new G3X chip, which I'm curious to try out. That was announced last year. But the Razer Edge, the name, has been around before. I reviewed a Razer Edge tablet way back in 2013 that was way before the Nintendo Switch and was a modular, bigger screen tablet.
Problem with this is the games. That's why the Steam Deck is so big, because you have your entire Steam library. And I think maybe even like Game Pass and stuff too.
Now this is a 6.8-inch AMOLED display handheld device, and when you detach the controllers, it really looks like a very large smartphone. That's kind of like a more purpose-built, larger phone tablet type thing. And it's not meant to be used as a phone, it's really a dedicated thing. I played a few games on it. It's meant to work particularly well with game streaming, both with Xbox Game Pass and cloud gaming, and also with Steam.
So it's more of a streaming
deal. I didn't get a chance
deal.
to check that part out. There's also a 5G version that's going to be available exclusively with Verizon. The Wi-Fi only one is $400, so we'll be reviewing it soon. Razer's getting into VR accessories, and it's a head strap, which doesn't sound all that exciting, but I'm interested in the partnership. Razer is making this for the Quest 2, and I got a chance to try it on, and it was pretty comfortable. It felt like almost like a baseball cap, and it was a softer, more flexible fit than the included Quest 2 strap. Also, what's interesting is the partnership, which is with ResMed. ResMed makes CPAPs. I wear a ResMed CPAP, and This is the first time that they've had a partnership with them. Razer has also made wearables before for the face. This might be a sign that they're trying to take that more seriously and think about more breathable and safe and comfortable devices going forward. This is also a continuing partnership with Meta, so you might imagine what else will they make? Maybe controllers or battery packs? The Quest 3 is coming out later this year, so I'm super curious. Razer's 3D soundbar, the Leviathan V2 Pro, is a PC bar that's designed to cast 3D sound around you by tracking your face with a camera to position the exact place where you get your sound field. Now, I've seen a couple of devices at this year's CES that have been trying to do face tracking and sort of ambient awareness of where you are. This one is really focused on trying to create that perfect little 3D sphere for your listening. You could do stereo sound, you could also do sort of a headphone simulation or a larger space simulation. I got to listen to this for only a few moments. It sounded good, but I'm curious how 3D it'll feel when you move your head around and how much it will track you. I don't usually care about webcams, but Razer's webcam actually excited me. The Razer Kiyo Pro Ultra looks like a gaming streamer's dream. It's a very large lens. It looks like it came off an SLR camera. It's a Sony StarViz 2 sensor on there, and it's 4K. It can track your face by looking your eyes and your mouth and keep autofocus going. And it has bokeh, and it also has an ability to auto-adjust lighting to maximize details. Now, you know, I just saw this on a laptop, and it looked great. It actually looked like the type of video that we'd be shooting right now, but in a webcam. And I was pretty impressed. It also has a manual shutter on the top, so you can just turn off the camera completely and not worry if you're still rolling. There's also a lens cap. I also got a quick look at the Razer Blade 18 and the Razer Blade 16, the new generations of their gaming laptops. Razer's never made an 18.
I noticed that
Blade 18.
I noticed that they didn't mention FPS on that camera. I wonder what the FPS is. Because yeah, streamers want. There's actually a lot of streamers that are using DSLR cameras right now. The thing is, it's got to be like 4K 60. It has to look nice. It has to be green screen compatible. You know, the lighting's got to be good, and there's like very few cameras that actually can do that.
Is a new territory for them, and it's being focused at being a more powerful desktop replacement. The processors and the graphics in there are a step above. The one that got my eye, though, was the 16 because of its display. It's a really vibrant mini LED display that, you know, next to the 18 really stood out. And it actually has two different modes. One is 120 hertz, which shows in full resolution, and it also will go up to 240, but doing that in full HD. But I want that display.
I think that was Dark Tide that they were showing there.
But that's not happening right now. The final thing that Razer has is Project Carol. There's always a project, and it's this vibrating headrest for a chair that has near-field speakers to provide a channel of sound that's right near you. And that's something I didn't get to try in Razer's hotel room suite, but I'll get a chance to look at on the show floor. I mean, it's a vibrating sound headrest. It's not as weird and wild as other stuff that Razer has had, but if it worked really well and you could just pop it on the back of an existing desk chair and sounded good and was priced well, who knows? But hey, it's CES. That's what this is all about. Anyway, that's the stuff that I got to see here, and there's going to be a whole lot more, so thanks for watching.
All right. Well, cool. That's a nice little preview, review of everything that was shown at CES. So for those who are watching on YouTube, we'll wrap up the video right there. So thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you guys in the next one.